How's it going, guys? Welcome to another episode of Tone Clips. My name is Blake Hall. If you're into everything guitar, you are in the right place. Now, I know that some of you guys that are even returning to watch these videos have not subscribed to the channel. It would be a huge thing, a big help if y'all go down there and hit the little subscribe button and the little bell icon right next to it. And that way, YouTube will let you know when I put out a new video. Now today, I've got something really cool all the way from Italy. We're gonna be talking about the 1987 by Volta. As a gigging musician, I have to cover a boatload of sounds, so I use a bunch of different style overdrives. I may even stack them and put them in different combinations. And one of my favorite things, though, is just finding that really awesome amp in a box pedal that really gets you closer to what you think is probably on the record. And whenever I have to go for an overdriven Marshall, about to explode kind of sound, there are only a few pedals that I've tried that do it really well. Enter the 1987 by Volta. This is probably one of my favorite examples of a Marshall in a box kind of pedal. They were so gracious as to send me this pedal. They're not paying me to say any of these things. They did, however, send the pedal though, so now you know that. I want to go over the layout and all the features of this pedal, the boost and all the things, but before we get into the layout and all that and plug it in and do sounds outside of a mix and all that, let's hear a song that I wrote using this on all the guitar tracks. Let's go. I know, right? This thing sounds freaking great. Let's go ahead and go over the features in the layout real quick. There are two sides here. This is a boost. So this button here controls this knob. Really, that is the only thing that is affected with this switch, is the 11 knob. And actually, I'm not exactly sure how it works. I think, judging by the arrows here in front of the buttons, that the boost is going in to the overdrive section. Don't quote me on that, but I do know this, that if you turn that down all the way and this side is on, then you have no sound. So that would make sense if it is first in the circuit here. but it has a ton of headroom. So when you have a boost in front of an overdrive, sometimes it seems like you're not getting a whole lot more level. This thing is really slamming the other side, and the less drive you have, the more headroom, all that stuff. We'll get into that when we get into sounds. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, right? Let's go to this side here. Now all these controls from the mid switch over all affect this side of the pedal. So let's just start here then. We have a mid switch that is a 3-position toggle. I believe in the center that was kind of like the most open sound. Then you have 2 different variations of mids, which is really cool. It gives you a lot to work with, and you can really make the mid-range poke out through a mix. Then we have level, which is volume. It's pretty self-explanatory, which there is plenty of level on tap. I don't see anybody really going past here unless you're just trying to slam the front of your amp, and maybe that will be something that we can try in the sound examples. Now, we also have a tone knob, which is really cool, and what I like about the tone knob is that as you go to the left, not only is it going to get a little darker, but you're also going to get some more low end. So it's kind of, I don't want to call it a spectrum knob, but it kind of changes the whole frequency sweep. So it's adding more low end and also taking away some high end. And then as you go to the right, as you turn it up, it's not only going to get brighter, but it's also going to tighten up the low end a little bit. Then, speaking of tightening things up, you have your tight switch, which is also a 3-position toggle, which will do exactly that. In the top position, I believe, was the tightest, least amount of low end, and then you're going to gradually get more with the other 2 settings. Then you have your drive knob, does exactly what you think it does. Now, just like on a Marshall head, especially the vintage ones, as you pull that drive knob up, you're going to get more low end, which is why it's really nice to have these other 2 things working together, because not only can you bring it up and bring in the high end that you'd like, but if it seems like that cut out too much of the low end, you can compensate here. So really cool controls here. I find that the way that they've dialed them in, they really work well together. Then we just have our in, our out, and then a 9-volt jack input there. All right, guys, so I'm definitely going to pull out the Vinciguerra Custom Shop Crossroads, the blue guitar, but first I wanted to pull out the VS, the Vinciguerra Custom Shop VS, and show you that Strat sound that I got for the solo with this guitar. So cool. So first of all, here is what the guitar sounds like straight into the amp, no pedals, no nothing. And now this is how much the pedal is actually doing. And what I love about that sound, this setting and everything, with low output kind of single coil sounds, is that you can back off the volume and really clean it up. and then you just literally grind in a little bit and it's gonna get significantly crunchier. And that's with my volume about halfway, and then we go up. What I love about this is that you can go from a sound like that. I mean, first of all, there aren't many pedals where you can go from a light, medium, and even kind of a fairly gnarly distortion into super high gain, just gnarly, raunchy sounds this easily. Look, I'm not even going to move a knob. I'm going to put the tight switch in the middle to tighten the low end up. We got the mid switch up, so it's got a lot of mids going on. And I'm going to turn on this guy. I'm going to go to the bridge and look at how nasty this gets. I obviously don't play that kind of music. I'm no good at it. But man, for somebody that maybe wasn't super interested in a hot rod dual channel plexi kind of thing, might not realize that those kind of sounds are in there. That's pretty crazy. If I knew how to play that stuff, you get the point though. Wow, that's incredible. But you know what? Check this out. I'm gonna leave that on. I'm gonna move this out of this tight setting and just show you what I would actually. I mean, if you're doing an 80s solo of some kind, that is a great sound to go with. Again, not my forte, but goodness gracious, what a fun sound that is. That is awesome. That's basically what I wanted to show you with this guitar, especially this kind of Jimi Hendrix, easy for you to say, Jimi Hendrix vibe that I love to try to get when I have some kind of Stratty something in my hands. I love that sound. All right, so now I have my Vinciguerra Custom Shop Crossroads, and these are the Fishman Fluence Classic humbuckers. So they actually have 3 voices. They have, with everything, with all the knobs in and not pulled, we have an underwound PAF sound, the kind of thing that I normally go for, similar to my Seth Lovers that used to be in this guitar. Then when I pull the volume knob, I'm in a single coil mode, which is pretty cool. And then when I pull the first tone knob, it goes into an overwound PAF sound, which is also really cool, a little bit more mid-focused. I'm not even gonna change the pedal. I will show you what it sounds like without the pedal on real quick, but we're gonna go with the same settings as we did with that kind of Jimi Hendrix sound. So with a pick, it'll break up just a little bit, but pretty clean though. Now, here is the pedal with that same setting. I love that sound. That right there is worth the price of admission, if you ask me. Big open Marshall sound. I love the airiness, the space with it. It's wide, and it's got a lot of definition, and it's very complex. I love that. And it's super responsive, so I'm going to show you dialing back the volume here. So first of all, just as a reference, this is volume on 10, everything's on 10. Now backing off the volume. Lighten up with my playing with the pick. Now with fingers. So the whole reason why I love a cranked Marshall is the dynamic range is just incredible. That right there is what I love about playing through a real Marshall that's cranked. I've done it, and that's very reminiscent of the same feeling. Obviously, it's different because I'm going direct and I'm not feeling the air up against my body, and there's not that relationship with the speakers in my guitar right now, but the overall sound and the dynamic part of the whole thing, that is there. It's so on point. I love that. So now I want to show you the same settings on the pedal, what it's like with the high output PAF. So first of all, just as a reference, now higher output PAF sound. I love that. That is great. And then let's go to the opposite end of the spectrum. Why not? We're already here now. Let's go to the single coil neck pickup sound. Beautiful, sweet sound, right? Yeah, I like that. Back to PAF. Yes, that is awesome. You know what? Let's check out the knobs individually. I'm going to show you a couple things with that. The drive knob, I noticed that if you bring it back, let's see here, right? Probably got a big volume difference there though. So this is what we'll do. We'll compensate. That's a cool sound. Now, as we turn up the drive, you're gonna notice that it gets thicker. Not just with the breakup, but there's a little bit more low end as we go up. All the gain that you'd want, and then there's still a boost. Let's just see how far it goes, huh? With that much gain, I mean, I'd never play with that much gain, but let's tighten it up. So, like I said, that's more gain than I would ever play with. But yeah, it's good to know that it's there, huh? Now let's check out that. I'm just gonna go back to my setting, just as a point of reference, right? I love it. I love that sound. And let's just, oh, well, that was with the tight switch in the middle, which is the tightest, it seems like. I like that setting in the up position because it kind of, you get the sense of that air moving. That's really cool. Here's the tight switch though. If you want that big, thick sound, That tight switch in the bottom is really cool, huh? All right, so let's move to that tone knob. Now, we're just gonna go ahead and turn it all the way down and see what happens. So there's a whole lot more low end happening there. Look, it's kind of woofy. And we're gonna bring it back to the center there. Right in here, it seems like there's a big difference. Yeah. And let's keep cruising. See, not only is it adding high end, but it's also taking away some of the low end as we go up. Let's just go ahead and max it. I'm not gonna call that an unusable sound. I'm sure in some song somewhere that might be something that you'd use, but maybe in this. I don't know. Yeah, it's a sound. There's plenty there, is my point. If you have a guitar that's really dark, that has some really dark pickups, that might be a really nice thing to have, is all that high-end headroom. And I already basically showed you how much level there is here. Let's just go ahead and... I'm clipping, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring that back, but there's plenty. And now let's hear that mid switch. So it's in the up position right now. It has been for most of this. And then let's go to the middle position. That's even more open is what I'm hearing, a little bit less mids right there. That sounds the most scooped to me. Yeah, I really like all three of those settings, really, with how I have everything set up with this guitar. All right, now here is the 11 boost, you know, because this one goes to 11, right? If you've seen Spinal Tap, you know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. I already have quite a bit of gain without that boost on right here. So let's try this. Let's try dialing the drive back a little bit. We'll compensate with some volume. That's a very realistic rhythm rock sound. And now the boost. So it definitely adds a lot of mid-range, doesn't it? Or at least that's what it sounds like to me right here. Let's see. I've not tried this yet, Let's turn the pedal off and see if the boost works without the other on. Yeah, I don't hear the boost at all. So it looks like this is also, well, it does say on right there next to the yellow indicator light. So I guess that makes sense. So the pedal does have to, the yellow side has to be on. Otherwise the pedal's off, I guess. And then the boost can't be used without the other side on. Let's try one more thing. Let's see what it sounds like with this drive down. We'll compensate some more. And then let's crank this this boost and see what we got here, huh? That is a pretty drastic boost. And because it is in front of this other side, it's really driving it into heavier saturation, which is a really cool thing. I love it. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me while we check out the 1987 V2 by Volta. If you're interested in knowing more about that pedal or any of their other products, I'm going to leave you a link in the description below this video. You're also going to find links to Revv and Vince Aguirre Custom Shop and all the different companies that I use their products to make these videos. You'll find all that stuff down in the description. I also have a website, and there will be a link down there for that. And for those of you checking out my website, sincerely, thank you so much for going to check that out. I'm also a singer and songwriter, so for those of you interested in my original music, I'd love for y'all to go check that out. It's available on all the different platforms, but if you go to my website, you'll be able to find links to all that stuff. If you like this video and you want other people to see it, the best things that you could do is to go down right underneath the video and hit the little thumbs up button, the like button, and don't forget to hit the little subscribe button. There's a little bell icon right next to that. If you hit that, YouTube will let you know when I'm going to put out a new video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will see you in that next video. Peace. And now a word from our sponsor. Oh, hey there. Does your significant other constantly get on to you for having too much music gear and cluttering up the house with it? Well, Midgard has got you covered. They'll give you a nice cozy little nook for your valuables and even a place to go for whenever the in-laws are in town. Thanks, Midgard.